Do you have that uncomfortable feeling that the lineups you spend months investing in, the one that costs you sleepless nights and countless resources, is about to become completely obsolete? I've spent the last few days sifting through the raw data from new heroes leaks. And what I've discovered is not just a simple list of new heroes to make you spend your medals. We are witnessing a real technological breakthrough in Age of Empire Mobile. The era of basic brute force is done. Welcome to the first strike meta and the millimeter precise optimization of rage. We are going to analyze 15 new heroes that introduce mechanics we have never seen in the game. Direct manipulation of action turns, explosive starts with only 150 initial rage points, and deferred damage bomb that punish those who attack too quickly. Today we are going to spend some time dissecting every leak, understanding why the current meta will collapse, and overall how to save and optimize our precious resources when the time comes to stay ahead of the curve. Hello guys, Miwaki there. Before we dive into the data, I want to be totally transparent with you. I don't have a crystal ball. The information we will look at comes from leaks and may change before the official release. The leaks covers classes, unit types, commander skill, and signature skills, but do not include percentage and detail on selectable skills. The release is expected to be delayed to allow newer and older servers to standardize their stellar bracket and available heroes. I made the mistakes in previous season. I invested in bad heroes because of a lack of information and expertise, and my goal today is to prevent you from failing into the same costly trap. In our community, we firmly believe in collective success. Our action plan today is dense, so get ready. Firstly, we will analyze the new heroes unit type by unit type, dissecting the limit of their skills. Secondly, we will address the replacement meta. We will see in details why current mainstays like Saladin or even Lubru are very likely to end up on the bench. Grab a coffee, get comfortable. A real masterclass is about to begin. Let's switch gears and start with the Swordmen. New Swordmen heroes cease to be simple mid-shield melee units. They are evolving into the conductors of your entire skill tempo. Firstly, Simon. Simon is a sub-DPS warrior specialist who fundamentally changes how we view ultimate abilities. His core mechanics force your commander to launch their signature skills immediately after dealing damage. But here is the expert insight that changed everything. His signature ability has a hard mathematical cap. It can only trigger a maximum of 1 time per second. Why is this cap actually brilliant rather than enough? Because without it, you would blow all your probability procs simultaneously in overlapping animations, wasting damage. This 1 second cap guarantees a steady, relentless, large return on investment over a battle. If you pair him with Miyamoto, you aren't waiting for the natural rage cycle. You are forcing Miyamoto's dual blade strike to hit continuously. He is almost certainly replacing Lagertha, transforming Miyamoto lineups into an aggressive buzzsaw from the very first second of the combat. King Canute. Canute redefines what it means to be a pure commander DPS. Where current meta heroes like King Arthur rely on consistency and sustained pressure, Canute is an assassin looking for an execution window. He applies distinct marks on the enemy troop. If he hits a target that is already marked, he doesn't just do normal damage. He consumes the mark to detonate 3 simultaneous instances of extra damage. This is a burst window engine. It severely punishes slow defensive setups that rely on passive healing because Canute's burst simply deletes the heals bar before the healing can even register. He will replace Miyamoto's as commander. For the tactician, we start with Confucius. Confucius is frankly the tactician healer and anti-burst king of new heroes. His disciplined heal is triggered up to 2 times per second whenever your troops take skill damage. This specific hard cap makes him the ultimate mathematical counter to machine gun style heroes like Mulan or the new Lady Treyu. Every 9 times he heals, he forces your higher strategy hero to fire the signature skill. Think about the implications. You are literally weaponize the enemy's attack speed against them. You convert their offensive burst into your own strategic spell. He will absolutely replace Zhuge Liang or Theodora in top-tier defense comps. He can be an archer as well, so it will fit your run thesis, March's setup. Then there is Romulus. He generates massive amounts of rage through a marking system, but there is a massive catch. His presence disables all other rage recovery effects from your troops. This is a staggering penalty. Why take it? Because his raw damage multiplier are off the chart. He is a puzzle for experts who are willing to sacrifice stand-up team synergy for isolated, raw normal attack power. I'm incredibly curious to see how the theory crafter in our community will build around this limitation. Pyrus is tactician support and all-or-nothing master tactician archetype. His signature skill, the tireless volley, has a chance to continually proc on a successful hit, increasing his strategy stats with each proc. When luck is on his side, Pyrus becomes an unstoppable force capable of annihilating a frontline in seconds. This playstyle based on skill spam and random procs makes him extremely synergic with Sun Tzu, who excels at optimizing skill chain for maximum effect. Pyrus could therefore be the ideal successor to Charlemagne in team composition focused on area control and high variance damage. It's a constant gamble, but potentially devastating. Moving on to our backline units, archers are finally abandoning their fragile glass cannon status in favor of dynamic, active survival mechanics. First, we have Lady Treyu. Lady Treyu is all about momentum. Every single time she lands a secondary strike, she has a percentage chance to trigger it again instantly. This creates a cascading chain reaction of damage. But the key to her ability is her hidden fury stacks. Every 3 strikes she lands, she gains a stack of damage reduction. In late game, damage reduction scales infinitely better than flat defense stats. In late game, damage reduction scales infinitely better than healing. She secures the aggressive Mulan Bellevue lineup by turning them relentless offense into an active stacking defensive barrier. You eat fast to build your armor. And here is Jifa. To understand Jifa, we have to talk about why Saladin is becoming obsolete. Saladin gives you a passive 1.5 range per second in a 10-second burst window where you are getting focused down. That's only 15 range. It's mathematically insufficient for next season. Jifa brings a DQ protection mechanic. If your troop takes massive nuke damage that crosses a specific HP, therefore, he consumes a protection shield to drastically reduce that incoming damage and instantly grants you a massive rate jump. It's a paradigm shift from passive generation to reactive tempo. When a Kraken tries to one-shot you, Jifa ensures you survive and immediately hit back with an ultimate. Clearly, Jifa will most certainly be a key element in the lineup compared with the new mythical archer martial hero, which will counter Arthur, but he can also replace Saladin in composition with Napoleon. Then we have Saint-Louis. Saint-Louis is positioned as a debuffer commander. His mechanism relies on the chance to apply the incapacitation effect, prevents the enemy from dealing damage. He also excels in offensive support by massively increasing the damage of the next allied hero to play and by offering damage reduction as his health decreases. Sharing the tactician status with Suleiman, Saint-Louis presents a great similarity in their commander skill. Both deal strategy damage and applies the specific control status of incapacitation to enemy troops for 3 seconds. Although Saint-Louis introduces it into lancer-based composition. As a result, Saint-Louis is unique. He aims to be a much more offensive and punishing version than Elizabeth, while offering targeted offensive support comparable to the jungle, without, however, offering the healing capacities of the latter. And now here we go on the cavalry. William Marshall is terrifying on paper, a new cavalry commander. He starts a battle with 150 initial rate. That means he is dictating the rules of engagement from the very first millisecond. Furthermore, he converts the secondary strikes of his allies into force triggers for his own equipped customizable skills, effectively turning them into guaranteed critical hits. He is the mathematical and spiritual successor to Lubu or Daoyon. And Eleanor. She is the martial cavalry and archer pivot. She is the absolute support, sustained heal purge. Her greatest asset is her utility, the ability to purge silence and slow effects when your troops' HP drops below 50%. If you run a Napoleon camp, you know the absolute agony of being silenced and rendered useless in a team fight. Eleanor is your ultimate anti-control assurance policy. She is very certainly the perfect candidate to join the alignment of the new mythical heroine destined to counter Arthur. An alternative would be for her to replace Henry V among the archers or potentially Otto in Pike's unit. Now let's talk about Pikemen. They are no longer just anti-cavalry specialists, but they are becoming literal time manipulators on battlefield. We'll start with Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh as warrior commander is my favorite design of the next heroes because I main Pikes now, and is the absolute hard counter to first strike meta. For the first 18 seconds of the fight, he records all damage taken. He acts like a sponge. The enemy thinks they are winning, then the 15 seconds timer hits zero and he releases a massive proportional damage bomb back at them. It creates a state of force passivity for the enemy. If they nuke you in those first 18 seconds, they are actively loading the gun that will kill them. Heroes like Cyrus or Vlad simply cannot compete with it. Gilgamesh doesn't try to out-heal, he punishes the aggression. Ragnar, as martial commander, is acting as a crucial accelerator for teams that rely on turn-based skills. His unique ability compels your allies to immediately trigger their turn-based skills, bypassing normal turn order restriction. This rapid activation significantly boosts the team's overall tempo and damage output. Furthermore, Ragnar possesses a devastating personal mechanic. Once your team collectively casts a total of 6 turn-based skills, accelerated or otherwise, his own ultimate ability is dramatically enhanced, doubling his efficiency, power, and effect. This synergy makes Ragnar an indispensable core component for any composition built around continuous turn-based skills cycling, forcing opponents into a difficult defensive posture as your team rapidly escalates its damage potential. He can replace Julius Caesar or Octavian. But Menace could be the real structural game changer for tactician pikemen. Alongside his 150 initial range, Menace grants an extra action turn to a support. In Age of Empire Mobile, an action turn isn't just basic attack, it's an extra opportunity to trigger every single probability-based skill in a hero's kit. He creates a numerical superiority in action per turn that leave other commanders like Belisarius in the dust. So he might replace Belisarius, but he could probably be a support to replace Ashoka as well. Voland. Voland is introduced as a reactive support unit specializing in anti-damage. His mechanics involve reducing enemy damage when struck. Furthermore, when his allies use a skill that damages 3 times, he heals the team and applies a damage reduction buff. He serves as a potential alternative to Barbarossa or Mansa Musa in the role of hybrid tank support. And finally, Solon. Solon is a hybrid support. He alternates between a strict 9-second defense cycle and a 9-second offense cycle. If you manage to overlap these cycles with your alliance rallies or buff, he converts the team's damage output into direct healing. He is a universal high-sky ceiling support. If you master his 9-second rhythm, he might save you from needing a pure healer like Justinian or Daijango, freeing up a crucial slot for more DPS. You can no longer afford to spread your resources across 5 mediocre matches. The best of hero introduction and the obsolescence of previous hero is too fast to rely on equal distribution of resources. You must renew your hero and maintain a top-level lineups, perhaps even the second one, even as a high spender. Furthermore, you must match your gens and adornment to your hero's specific mechanical identity. Do not put active damage gems on Gilgamesh, who relies heavily on taking damage and passive reflection. Invest your raw rings monthly based on rolls. I know this is a massive amount of highly technical data to process. The new hero meta is clearly revolving around what I like to call loop engines. Heroes like Simon Confucius and menace, who manipulate the literal flow of time and skill triggers in the game. Which of these loop engines are you planning to build your core team around? Are you pivoting your resources to Jeffa to survive the incoming nuked meta? Or are you going all in on William Marcher's forced critical strike to melt the enemy first? Are you brave enough to try and crack the Romulus puzzles? Drop your thoughts, theory, and potential lineup in the comments below, or join my Discord. Your ideas can only help me grow as a player, and I love reading every single one of them. In conclusion, new heroes bring a radical paradigm shift. We are moving from a logic of passive protection to an era of calculated and meticulous aggression. The key until the release will be your ability to anticipate. Do not disperse your precious medals. Concentrate your investment on the loop engines we identified today. In this new meta, victory will not belong to the one with the biggest health bar, but to the one who knows how to manipulate game time and act faster and smarter than the opponents. Stay disciplined in resource management to meticulously build your main glorious march, and never forget that we are always stronger together as a community. Thank you for taking the time to follow this masterclass with me. Salut!